She's smart.
Sorry, get it somewhere. Manager, we're going to get the beer truck.
The beer truck.
Yeah, so accident. We want to know the rest of the people.
We didn't have public notice to change locations for meetings.
You're right.
Oh, we're going. I'm sure Madam Council.
I don't know. I mean, it's doing it. Wow.
We're official.
50, but I just wanted to.
It's not working.
Going strong.
When Janet gets back in the room.
Okay, she go, yeah. You know what, I did see her and then she was not, I don't see her. You're right.
No, wait until the meeting. I'm gonna feel like it. Get up, you leave this. I know, I was gonna say, Ralph can't leave, he can't, two of them can't leave, but anybody, Prince William.
Can we go? Can we go?
Around.
Sorry. You can't go around people. Can't return.
Start the meeting.
Just. It was a bad accident. Allie, you wrote that bird. It's like. It was just like, why is all the traffic coming down? That makes sense. And same thing with Joplin Road, because those are two four-way stops, so it's just like rush hour traffic. But it's like, you're going the wrong direction.
Does Joplin ever back up? I can tell you the big road travel. I've never seen traffic.
No, you know, only, you know, only if somebody was going really slow down it.
Yeah.
They got it backed up a whole lot of traffic. You can't go around there, nowhere to go. You can't, what if you're going one way or another?
You seen, David's Ford, for the perfect.
That, I don't know.
Even a, I didn't have a five back to get back there.
We used to be that way one time. I was like, traffic turn off.
Yeah.
The phone.
That's easily.
And
it's just no show. I mean, you live.
No, we didn't ride together.
Keisha's probably still fighting.
Okay.
You want us to get.
Magnifies the fact.
No, you want me to get space. No, we did not run time.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, Happy New Year. The time is now 7:30. We had an accident on the interstate, and so delayed our getting this meeting started, but we're here now. So I want to call the meeting to order at pretty much 7:31. Somewhere around there, and want to invite Kwame to come on up and give us a safety specialist for monthly safety message. Sir.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for this opportunity. And I would like to take this opportunity to wish each and everyone Happy New Year. And then I believe this is going to be a successful one for all of us. As you all know, as we walk through February, safety and health is our priority. So we need to stay safe. And as we go, as you all know, in addition to that, you all know it's ice, snow, and then reduced vision. In addition to that, there's been a rise in our flu. So please stay alert. If you are sick, please stay home. And if you need to take a flu shot, please do so. Let us also try to protect our information. At the beginning of the year, scammers will try to send some information to get information. Please, let's try to protect our information. And if you see something, please say something so that we can all live together in a healthy and a safety environment. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that. If we can rise to the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
And now, Ms. Stan, you call the roll.
Victor Angry,
Here.
Andre Bailey,
Present.
Kenny Bodie,
Present.
Margaret Franklin. Here. Tom Gordy.
Here.
DeShandra Jefferson, Karen Mills, Idris O'Connor.
Here.
Kimberly Short. George Stewart, Yesley Vega, Keisha Evans, Dr. Pamela Young, Maya Guy, Ralph Smith.
Here.
Sonia Vasquez Luna, Daryl Moore, Alana Mensing, Janan Holmes. Here. Will McIntosh, Dr. Deborah Frazier.
Here.
Lori Hayes, Jacob Lane, Tiffany Robinson, Sarah Hussein.
Here.
Rosia Henson Jr., Josh Thomas,
Here.
Jeremy McPike. Mr. Chairman, I'm happy to say we have a quorum.
Thank you so much. Now can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve. Second.
Got a motion, Commissioner Frazier, second, Commissioner Bailey. Any changes, any comments to that? Hearing none, okay. All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? The ayes have it. Thank you, ma'am. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
We have a motion, Commissioner Bailey. Who wants that second? Okay. We'll go with Commissioner Frazier. She came and I heard the voice. And so, any discussion? Okay. All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? The ayes have it. Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Dallas, sir, I know we gotta get you on the way too because.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Up the road, so the floor is yours, sir.
Good evening, thank you. I too want to wish everyone a happy new year. Hope 2026 is off to a good start for you and for many of all good ways. I'm happy to report. We've been analyzing December's data, but we're getting through the numbers for November. We've had a good month. On-time performance was 87%, near our target of 90% OTT, and December is looking even better right now. So we've had quite a number of what we call 100% days, which is not a single late train on that. So it's been very good. And the average delay time is decreasing as well. So fewer 30-minute delays. Ridership though, a little suffering there with only 17 travel days, business days, if you will, in the month, plus the shutdown at the beginning of the month. We were right around 8,200, 8,300 average daily riders per day, which is a substantial decrease for us. But when the shutdown ended, we went up literally 10% overnight, and we have recovered in those numbers in the last few months, in the last month or so. So that's looking good. Over the last few months, I'm happy to report it's a lot of good activity going on. We celebrated the groundbreaking for our Alexandria station back in mid-November. It's kind of the time since our last visit. We, on December 1, opened the seminary yard and stood up a brand new train 330, which will help our Manassas line passengers with the upcoming work windows. And we brought the VRE float to the Alexandria parade. I'm hoping that others will be able to participate with that. It's a lot of fun. And Santa trains. I want to point out, Santa trains is one of the, Mark likes to say, kids love trains and kids love Santa. When you put that together, it's pretty magical. So we are one of the largest, if not the largest, Toys for Tots contributor in the Fredericksburg region. Our toys come to Crossroads Yards and therefore get collected with the Fredericksburg Toys for Tots chapter. And another great success, our staff and volunteers are to thank for that. So just spread that good word. Last, I just want to take a moment and inform the commissioners about the upcoming work windows and the outages that we will be seeing starting next Monday. Many of you probably heard, we've been spreading the word as best we can a month out. We started December 12th, putting the word out about the pending work windows. Just want to quickly explain what's going on. The state VPRA has a major project, Long Bridge North project, which is basically from the north shore of the Potomac River in and through the city up to LaFont. They have noise and vibration requirements, restrictions, if you will, overnight in the city, nights and weekends, that will not allow the crews to work on the bridge the bridges, I should say, in that vicinity overnight. And therefore, the contractors requested to have work windows during the day that has few or no trains in the vicinity so they can do their work as needed. That's going to affect us. And to be clear, the work window starts about 8:15 in the morning, will last about 1 p.m. in the afternoon, no trains permitted. There may be exceptions to that as we go into it, we're going to learn more. But what that means to VRE is our last 2 trains in the AM, so the 2 trains, 332 and 334 on the Manassas line, those last 2 trains, 312 and 314 on the Fredericksburg line will terminate at Alexandria. Those trains will not make it to Crystal City, LaFont, or Union Station. So, to our passengers. Some of them will naturally gravitate to earlier trains that will fully make it through in the morning. Others will be able to use their benefits to ride Metro into those stations. So Yellow Line to most of the stations, or Yellow and Red up to Union Station. So we've made accommodations, or will be making accommodations if you will. We have been broadcasting this word to all that we can. We've had staff on all on the affected platforms all this week. We've done postcard drops in all the trains that are affected. If you don't know about what's to happen, you're living under a rock. So just to be clear, we're letting folks know and getting the word out. We believe, and I don't want to minimize in any way, but the change to them will be fairly simple, fairly benign in the mornings. It'll take a little longer. It may cost a few dollars more to ride the Metro, but using their benefits, it should not be a major impact. So we're going to be working with our passengers. We'll be on the platform in Alexandria Monday morning and throughout the week to basically escort them and guide them and do all the things that we do. We will likely see some effects in ridership. So to be clear, we won't know what that is until we have some data in a few weeks. So I'll come back and report. Ms. Joe, we can come back and report in a couple of weeks, next month for this podcast. Okay, that's all I have to report.
Okay, so I know we have a few items to approve, so we're gonna split out 6.2, which is the budget. And we'll take that motion now on that, and then to Mr. Richards to kind of explain 6.3, 6.4, 6.5. Just give a little brief summary of those.
So it has to do with the funding agreement or with our partners. The projects, so we have a master agreement, and under that though, we have these supplements or amendments. And we had some funding revisions, changes, moves, if you will, that needed to be documented and assigned out. And because it's contractual, we have to come to the bodies, the board and the commissions for those changes.
Okay, so starting with 6.2, if I can get a motion. I'm sorry.
Mark Schofield does, we have
Different.
Oh,
Yeah.
we have slides for the.
Yeah, we have slides for Mark's budget.
Mark, I did not want to not let you have that. Long. Okay.
So there's several items, but for Mark's budget presentation.
Yes, okay.
Thank you, Mr. Angry. Good evening. This is a distilled version of the presentation that we gave to the operations board last month, which hopefully was in your packet. So I will go through it very quickly. Be happy to answer any questions that you guys might have. Our total operating budget for next year, $115.1 million. That's all operations, maintenance, and existing debt. That is essentially flat to this year's approved budget, actually down about $100,000. As required, the budget is balanced. That means all the projected expenses that we have are supported by reasonably expected revenues. We could dig into the expenses a little more if you'd like to. I'd just like to highlight one of our biggest issues again is our liability insurance. Our insurance costs are projected to rise about 13%, about $1.1 million. Due to both sort of the unit cost increase, and general lack of capacity in the insurance market, and also increases in the total amount of liability coverage that we have to purchase. We're trying to do both sort of near-term tactical actions with DRM down in Richmond and sort of long-term strategic actions within the whole commuter railroad industry to try to address this. This is not just VRE that has this problem. The one that you guys are probably most interested in, the jurisdictional contribution, completely unchanged down to the dollar from last year from this year to next year. If you'll recall, we had made the sort of the policy decision at the beginning that we weren't going to change the total contribution, the $19.8 million down there at the bottom. And then because we were not able to do the master agreement survey this year because of the government shutdown, we used the allocation numbers from last year. And so everything ended up exactly the same. We have included in the budget a passenger fare increase of 5%. We went through our whole public participation process with that, reaching out to the riders, getting their feedback on it. We have received about 20 comments, pretty much all of them by email. Generally, as you might expect, general opposition to the increase, mostly expressed, they said, things are bad in the economy, things are bad for the federal government employees. They wished that we wouldn't do it. They would rather not pay until our reliability has improved. Understandable comments. We did get a couple people saying, hey, we understand and we support you. So I mean, that was nice to hear too. And some comments about, kids ride free and a few of the other more sort of smaller pieces of the policy. But we generally think We want to get back onto our sort of prior trajectory of doing one every other year, because then we can keep it at a reasonable kind of amount. So we are moving ahead with it this year, or this coming year. So it'll go into effect on or about July 1 of next year, and we expect it to generate a little bit more than 1 million above the baseline if we were not to do it. That first bullet point right there says it all. Ridership right now is hard to project in the way that the environment is changing. We've had the return to office, we've had the shutdown, had a lot of economic uncertainty with tariffs, all that kind of thing, and now we have the work windows. Dallas did a good job explaining what's going to be coming with that. We have an ADR, an average daily ridership for next year projected at 9,300, but we will be watching in the latter half of this year and into next year, and if we need to change that, we will. If everything sort of works out as expected, that would generate about $23 million total passenger revenue, which would reflect, would result in a fare box recovery ratio, again, of about 22%. So that's the amount of the operating budget covered by the fares. Just starting with the pie chart there on the right, that shows the approximately $270 million total of pandemic relief money that VRE was awarded since the beginning of the pandemic. We've used about 60% of that. That's the lighter colored pies or pie slices there through June the 30th, the end of the last fiscal year, in the about 5+ years since the beginning of the pandemic. So as of the start of this fiscal year, FY26, we have about $105 million remaining. We still are on roughly, there's a lot of assumptions that go into it, but we're still roughly on track for mid to late FY 2028 for the exhaustion of those funds. And so, as we've talked about a number of times, action on down in Richmond, which is already underway on the SJ28 recommendations, is going to be critical, not just for VRE, but for OmniRide and Metro, for all of the transit agencies. Shifting over briefly to the CAPA program, we have 22 major projects and programs in our CIP, totaling just shy of $1.3 billion. It's about 80% funded, So we have commitments of about 1.01 billion already in the CIP. Won't go through each of those 22 projects by name, but just looking at sort of the major program areas for the CIP. Our biggest commitment is to our passenger stations, close to $500 million. Given sort of the division of labor between us and VPRA on TRV, where they sort of handle the track and the structures and the right of way, and we handle the yards and the stations. That's not too surprising. Then the next one there is our maintenance and storage facilities, our yards. It's critical, of course, that we have the capacity to store all of our existing and the new rail cars, the 21 new rail cars that we'll be having coming in 2028, both during the midday and during the overnight. And then roughly sort of tied after that at about 155 million is the Manassas Line property acquisition there in the middle, and then track and structures down at the bottom, 152 million. On the question of the funded versus the unfunded, I just want to draw attention to the fact that the top line there, the asset management, always completely funded. That's the first thing that we put our money to make sure that we are keeping our existing equipment and facilities in a state of good repair. And then the last thing I'll draw your attention to is that more than half of that unfunded number is there in track and structures. That is our VRE broad run lead track and our planned new crossovers on both the Manassas and the Fredericksburg line. We'll be coming back to you guys in the coming 12 to 18 months or so with some plans for grant applications and things about how we might pay for those projects. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
All right. So let me ask. Thank you for the presentation first.
Sure.
Any questions, comments? Commissioner Boyd.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for both of your presentations. My question actually pertains not to the budget, but to the previous presentation on the operations. And I appreciate, as was said, the breakdown of what's going to be happening in terms of the closure. You mentioned that, you're having folks at the stations, folks on the platforms, flyers, all these other things. I also saw it on your social media, which is great. Are you doing any publications in the local papers to let people?
I don't know. I can't speak to that.
Yeah, I just look, I just had a
Focused
question.
on, it's been focused on the, like, we literally did seat drops, we call them, so a postcard on the 4 trains that were affected. And standing at the platform, handing anyone getting off the train the postcard with a QR code that takes them to the information, says, your train is not gonna make it here on Monday. Right, so those people are well informed, and then for those who may not be riding this week or may start riding, the new schedule will be posted both online and at each of the stations on the temporary schedule.
Thank you.
So lots of broadcasts and lots of formats.
I appreciate it, if I just could, because, and you're right, that's an all of the above sort of approach. It's just, everyone in this room knows that no matter how much we try to get the word out, we always get people to write and say, I had no idea, no one told me, I didn't see it. Somehow, some way we get those complaints. So just wanted to say that for the record, that you guys are doing everything you can.
And consistent with that, I'd like to offer, we had one passenger in the comments this week that thought it was just a 1-day thing. We said January 12th, we said beginning January 12th, and we've been trying to make it clear, and apparently it wasn't, that it's a 5-year, probably a 5-year deal. So it will take as long as it takes to build Long Bridge. So
If only the Long Bridge could be built in a day.
if only,
Yes.
like Rome, like,
I just wanted to point out that there are, you all have done a nice job on Instagram as well. Like on the VRE site on Instagram, it's pretty like, it goes through exactly what's gonna happen. So I've seen that and appreciate it.
thank you.
Oh, that's just a question. I know we're gonna move this along, but, and it's really for BRE and PRTC. When we do our rate increases, I know that a majority of the folks that ride both of our services are fellow workers and usually that smart card. So it's usually a government piece too. To I think your point of saying that those many of the people who when they see those rate increases doesn't really affect them because it's increase those cars. I'm curious, what is the percentage of folks that are outside of, and you may not know this now, so, and I don't know if we know for PRTC as well, but the percentage of folks that are outside of that who are affected by the rate increase that do, probably those few people that did ask the question that said they're concerned. Cause I know that we're still a federal county and people, you know, when we, that term bedroom community, cause folks work in the city and come back here to live down south, so I'm just curious.
For VRE, it's somewhere in the 60 to 70% range for people who do get the transit benefit.
Okay, who
So-
do, okay.
So 30 to 40% maybe who don't. The way that our ticket pricing works, and I'll let Bob speak to Omni-Ride. The current monthly transit benefit would cover most monthly VRE tickets all the way down to maybe Brook Leland. You know, only if you're making the longest monthly trip all the way from Spotsy would you have to be also adding out of pocket on top of the transit benefit.
Okay.
And to answer your question, we're closer to the 85% in terms of smart benefits. And our target is to ensure that we don't exceed the federal benefit, and we intentionally leave a little bit of federal benefit on the table because we do ask passengers for Christmas tree lighting, severe incidents, protests, things that happen in DC. We'll occasionally ask for fallback to metro route. So we want to leave those individuals room. And that's in an unlimited ride ticket, by the way. So it doesn't matter which route, when, purchase your pass, it's directly smart benefits. We actually use the same vendor as VRE. So it's very seamless, very easy to use, but that way it makes it easy for people and they're not having to come out of pocket, which helps retain ridership.
Thank you. And that question is important to me and should be, yes, sir, go ahead.
I was just gonna offer, and I'm just checking some numbers, but ballpark, the maximum monthly fare for zone 1 to zone 9 is like $350, $355. The current federal transit benefit's $340. So it $15 monthly difference between riding the whole way or not if you're out of pocket for those users.
See, and that's important to me, and for me to tell this commission why that's important, because when we have government shutdowns, that's a thing, you know, and it changes. The longer those go, if those benefits are in place, it's a game changer for our transit systems that we have that we can do so much better and thrive with, that we're working to get there. But you know, we're tied to a federal system that, you know, that's why we want people to work. And I just want to put that out there. I think that was important to say. Okay, so now that we've had that budget presentation, we can get to so I need a motion On item 6.2, which is to adopt and refer the amended fiscal year 2026 and recommend fiscal year 2027 Virginia Railway Express operating and capital budgets to the jurisdictions.
So moved.
Second.
I have no idea what to think of.
That was fortunate.
That.
Chairman.
Interesting.
We can.
Okay, so we have Commissioner Gordy, Commissioner Bailey, yeah, yes, okay. Any comments, discussion?
Yeah, just, Mr. Chairman, just, obviously there's still gonna be a lot of work to do moving forward. With regards to both on, I guess I'll call it passenger recovery.
Yeah.
With regards to getting back to pre-pandemic levels and figuring out how to increase revenue without necessarily having to go straight to increasing fares, which is very difficult because there's only a few ways to increase revenue, and that's one of the biggest ways, but we're gonna have to make sure to continue to support VRE and of course, making sure that the state continues its support, so.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, please.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about, so the, what's the center down at UVA, the Cooper, what is it called?
Well-
They, I don't know if you've seen, they actually have, done a report on commuting, of folks within Virginia, and like for Prince William County, we have 167,000 people leave the county every day. We have 80,000 people that come into the county from other jurisdictions every day. That's 200, it's actually 83. It's nearly 250,000 people moving out of or into this county. That doesn't include those moving through. And so when you literally look at the vastness of and the total numbers of people who are moving every single day, there's real potential for growth, and it's about, so it's just a matter of, figuring out those things that make it more enticing for these people to get on board, so.
Love that, yeah. Any other, okay, no more comments, so all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? We got one abstention, okay, the ayes have it, thank you very much. Now I'm gonna bundle the next three, 6.3, 6.4, 6.5 together for one motion. Let me just give you a little subject line. 6.3 is to approve and authorize the Virginia Railway Express acting chief executive officer to execute a capital project funding addendum with the Virginia Passenger Rail Authority for the Woodbridge Station Platform Extension Project. That's 6.3. 6.4, approve and authorize the Virginia Railway Express acting chief executive officer to execute a capital project funding addendum with the Virginia Passenger Rail Authority for the Backlight Road Platform Extension Project. 6.4. 6.5, approve and authorize the Virginia Railway Express acting chief executive officer to execute a capital project funding addendum with the Virginia Passenger Rail Authority for the Rolling Road Platform Extension Project.
So
Can I get a motion? Okay, we've got a motion, Commissioner Bodie, second, Commissioner Bailey. Any discussion? Yes, ma'am.
Just want to point out for the Woodbridge station, it's one of the older stations, so this platform extension greatly needed, and thank you to VRE for kind of focusing on that. I know we had some other issues like audio and things like that. I think some of that has been resolved, but it's still a work in progress of modernizing the station.
Good word, modernizing. All right. Okay, yes, ma'am.
And just want, thank you, Supervisor Franklin, for saying that, because the Backlick and Rolling Road platforms are older as well. And so we are in the midst of, at VRE, of enhancing the best that we can to make sure that the service level is better. So thank you for that reminder. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we're to all in favor now. I just, yes, all in favor.
Aye.
Any abstentions? Well, I guess I should have went with the nays, any nays? We don't have any. We're good. Okay, the ayes. All right, I just looked down and saw you, I'm like, oh, so you said, I didn't see you, can't know me, I can't know me. All right, we don't have any public comment time, I understand, or written.
No written public comments were
Thank
submitted.
you all, by the way, thank you so much, safe travel for your next new year. Okay,
I don't know if there's anyone in the audience who wants to comment, but no written comments were submitted.
okay, and, okay. There we go. Kelsey, Kelsey, we gotta put you on the spot. We gotta recognize.
Keisha.
Keisha. Okay, you can get it all right. Okay, yeah, Kelsey. Keisha, so what we gotta do, you gotta stand in the middle here. We have to say something. No, I'm joking. Anyway, wanna welcome
Feel
you.
like wheels on the bus.
Jackson wanna welcome you, so, welcome aboard.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, that's it, you don't say nothing else? You don't-
Currently about 95, we're not in here.
Yeah, right. It's never as bad as it was tonight.
I was like, Jordan, you know me by now, you've seen me here, but you also seen me, in Stafford County and Prince William County, but for those who don't know me, I'm Keisha Evans, I'm the new elected supervisor for Bowman district. So I wanted to join this board because I used to be Monica Gary's chief of staff, and I would come to the meetings and hear, and I was interested. On top of that, I was also a writer on Omni League. So I want to be invested in this. So I look forward to working with everyone.
This is, yeah, so you gotta do some orientation, you'll get all of that, and you'll get caught up, and I love to spend some time with you, and I'm glad you're here, so welcome, and congratulations on your win too.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
all right. Okay, so we are on to consent agenda. I need a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second, there we go, Commissioner, I heard a second, where'd that second? I think, wait, because I think, did you? You second it? You did?
I was my chair voice, I
Yeah.
You can give them all them.
Oh, we gonna come, okay. Commissioner Frazier, motion, Commissioner Bodie, second. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The ayes have it. Thank you, ma'am. And where are we? Executive Director, here we go. Sir, the floor is yours.
So I'll begin with my traditional question. Where were you on September 16th, 1996?
September 16,
It was a Monday.
No, were you alive?
90s.
Well, I asked that question at 1:00 today.
South Carolina.
You were in South Carolina. I was in Cullowhee, North Carolina. I was a senior in college, and that was when Althea Evans started her first day.
Oh.
Here. There were a bunch of tickling snobs that weren't even alive yet. I'm looking at one of them, Johnny. The rest of us felt very old at that exact moment. But we had a celebration today for Althea. It was literally a standing ovation when she came in the room. Not gonna make it quite to 30 years, but we're officially calling it 30 years because we counted the pandemic in dog years. Trying to get communications done during that window of time for our customers, constantly changing service. Don't stand by each other, wear a mask, don't wear a mask, nobody knew what to do. But tonight we want to celebrate Althea's 29 years of service, 30 years of service. My comments are sincere when I say this. I can drive to Front Royal. I can drive through Haymarket. I can drive through Manassas Park. The awesomeness that is my commute back from Darnmere, Haymarket, and the Fighting Brentsville district, all the way through Dale City, all the way through all points of eastern Prince William County into Stafford, Spotsylvania. And her fingerprints are all over. Our service, our communications, our schedules, our website, our promotions. If you've ever attended a ribbon cutting, they're her ribbon cuttings. We just show up and tell us where to stand. It's the level of detail, the thoroughness, but that's the outside part of what you see. What you also have to recognize, and it's important, is the number of staff that she's mentored over the years, and not just in marketing. It's very sincere to hear people talk lovingly and wonderfully about Althea and the impact she's made in the organization. We're gonna miss her.
Where's she going?
She's getting in her Porsche and going fast. She's
leaving Porsche. She said she's leaving a Porsche.
It's not a bus, you can't drive that.
It's gonna be right. They do that for the last mile.
She's going to travel and volunteer and do amazing things right here in Prince William County. And she's, as I said, she may be leaving the organization, but the organization's not leaving.
That's right.
And we're gonna miss her. We're proud of the work she's done. We're proud of the impact she's made for our customers. We figured she's proofed over 1,000 different published schedules. There's an entire page and 10-point font of awards we've received as an organization that she has been a critical part of. And our legacy, what we've done in the community, it'll be 9 years for me in April. Right? That there were 20 years before I got here. I've seen what the amazing work she's done. So the fingerprint she has placed on this community is so impactful. And there's a lot of people that live in our community that come and go. But to come and to stay and make the difference that she has is special. And Althea, I personally want to say thank you. Gonna miss you. And we've got to do the usual stuff of cool pictures.
Oh, yeah.
We got you the 30-year pin. It's only 3 of them. Joyce has one of them, Kim Fittner, who you remember from our November meeting, who we figured out took over like 250,000 phone calls. Like, we're talking about impact for our customers.
Yeah.
So let's do the thing. Come on up, Althea.
It's still in the back. I didn't open it. I didn't put it on. The next thing.
Damn, she always looks sharp.
We're gonna get over here.
Always looks like so put together.
And
They're your certificate. You wanna hold the pen?
no, you hold the pen. I'll just.
You'll put it on.
No, I cannot be trusted with that pen.
Yeah.
It's pretty fancy.
I cannot be trusted with that. It is a very nice pen. I was gonna take it out and put it on and get it something. You wanna say some words? Say something?
Sure.
You want me to push?
So, because I'm married to an audiophile, I have to say this, it's Portia. And he would not allow me back in the house if I hadn't made that clear. Sorry.
She has 2, by the way.
He has 2, he lets me drive. But, I have, working at Omni Ride has been very much like raising my son. It's been one of the most challenging and most rewarding things that I've ever done. I am proud of the work that myself and my team have done, what we've accomplished, oftentimes with just a few hands to do the work. I get, as Bob said, I get to look around the community and I see my work. And there's a sense of pride that goes with that. There's also a sense of pride in knowing that what I do, what feeds me and my husband every day, is also something that benefits the community and that I get to give back while I'm also earning a living. So it's gonna be interesting to not have to set my alarm next week, but I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, rolling in, because we're starting late, I've already deleted some stuff from my original report. Okay. Preliminary daily average ridership for our commuter bus increased 11% from November to December, which is slightly misleading because November still had part of the government shutdown. So it's exactly what you would expect, but December's typically lower. We have the federal shutdown. December ending up being higher than usual ridership of the fall months, which was a little more unique. We did see the typical impact in ridership bumps or decreases due to snow and ice, the Christmas, New Year's holiday. The Southern Express routes, this is a big deal, carried 27,000 passengers, or I-66 commuter services carried 28. So we are seeing almost the same level of ridership out of the Stafford, Spotsylvania Fredericksburg footprint that we're seeing off I-66. By the way, we're not seeing a drop off on I-66. That continues to grow and improve. Those are fantastic positive signs. We are doing continuous marketing to grow that number, but also the Horner Road and 234 routes, the northern part of 95, had over 33,000 passengers, with 19,000 coming out of Horner Road, 14,000 passengers at Horner Road, as well as the Stonebridge Garage and the 234 lot sitting at around 14,000. Great. As expected, we saw a traditional drop of about 11% from November to December on the local routes. That's because it's colder, it's darker. Our passengers aren't driving to a park and ride lot. They're walking from their apartments, their homes, their businesses, and workplaces. However, the top 3 routes in the system, Route 1, Dumfries and Dale City, carried over 34,000 passengers. In November, it was around 30. So we saw more ridership in December than November on local routes. That tells us retail, shopping, work trips. So those are fantastic signs, because when ridership dips, if it's a general trend for the organization, you see it everywhere. We saw some go down, some go up. So we basically stayed generally consistent at where we would expect to be. Very great news. Our Western routes carried over 7,000 passengers, with over 10,000 passengers on a route to Tyson's Corner out of the Balls Ford lot on 66. Since we launched the transit app, the Royale feature, the number of daily users has increased from around 1,500 to over 2,000. It's a 25% increase in basically 45 days. Fantastic numbers. We've seen an additional 653 downloads of the app and more than 400,000 sessions. That's someone who had the app open. So that's 400,000. Where's my bus? How can I catch a bus type transactions? And if we're seeing that 25% increase, that tells you the level of interest and frequency. Each user who has registered to use the app is using it about 28 times since the launch of Royale. So that's generally going to be once in the morning, once in the afternoon. Where's my bus? So it continues to be something that we're paying attention to. Kudos to Operation Maintenance for identifying some safe walking paths to get staff on the employee lots at both locations. Remember, a lot of stuff we do here, we have to do twice. So with that sudden early snowfall that did stick, we put in some more safety protocols to avoid slip and falls. Something you can also do at home. Does your family know how to get from the driveway to the front door safely? Those are all things that matter, especially as we see those hilarious Instagram reels of people falling down in the Midwest.
They know better.
They know better. Yeah, there's those. We might have mentioned previously, but the data center workers are parking further away from the bus stops university lot, which is great. Staff has confirmed this on a recent visit to the lot. So the work we've put in has really paid some dividends. Work continues on our minor TSP, which are transit strategic plan. That is something that is required by DRPT as part of our funding package. So we've had great input there. Had staff meetings with our consultant team right here in this room for multiple hours, and we should be ready to support the DRPT by the end of the fiscal year. Everything is on track, and we are excited. Before we go to the Keolis update, I wanted to bookend. I opened up by congratulating Althea. But let's close this part of it by congratulating Ms. Allison Foster, who is Althea's successor. Yeah. Allison, we stand. Write song later. We've already paid her. Right. Something that we traditionally don't do is we don't typically bring in much overlap, but Allison's been with us since mid-November. And part of that is a couple of different things. Number one, very big shoes to fill. But also winter can be a complex time with snow and ice. We have a service change forthcoming. We have the holidays to communicate for. A lot of up and a lot of down. Meanwhile, we have our community events that we do. So again, the opportunity to take advantage of more hands, pick Althea's brain, but also they work very well together to also give the distance and opportunity for Allison to set her own course. So we're going to be very, very excited for that. You'll all have the chance to hear and meet her later. Allison, did you want to share any words tonight or?
No, thank you.
There we go. And with that, Mr. Chair, I offer the floor.
All right, Mr. Davis, floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioner, good evening. Before I start, I guess I should start off by saying Happy New Year to everyone. Going on. December was business as usual. The operation battled through the holidays as well as the flu virus that's going around. So it did have a slight impact on performance, i.e. manpower, but we still finished the month off strong. And so that's the story. One notable mention I want to share, I think it's important, is we've been having a lot of good momentum through what currently is labor negotiation. So I know that there's some that are listening remotely, And I'm appreciative of their efforts as well as continuing to stay focused on meeting the targets that we have. So I want to share that. Jumping into the report, the far right of the report is Dev 25, and that's a typo. That should be December 25, and that's our current month. So ridership, as Bob indicated, slightly down for microtransit. We're still on target for on-time performance, and then that little green wave at the bottom is our shared trip. So that's how efficient we are. So instead of doing onesie twosie trips, we want to put two bodies or more on those vehicles, make the most out of the trip. In terms of missed trips, as I said, with the holidays and also the flu virus going around, we did have 10 missed trips. Some of those traffic, sprinkled in there as well. We look to make a recovery next month, still really strong in terms of reliability. In terms of vehicle availability, this is something that we've been battling with for the last several months. I'm happy to report we are on target. Vehicle availability just means that we have the vehicles to go out to deliver the service. There we go. Our miles between service interruptions. And so I know it's a little busy. We had some requests from board members to put additional data on the screen. So what we're looking at is the middle of the screen and that turquoise-ish December, which is well above target. And that's it. I'm happy to take any questions.
Do we have any questions, comments? I don't think we have any.
One last thing I want to say.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Chairman Angry, for your support in recognizing the operators as well as the dispatchers who were the first responders.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Yeah, no, that goes a long way.
Yeah.
And they're at home watching right now. So if you have anything for them, I'd be happy to share.
And you know I do, because I was sick and I was watching that from my laptop at home, and it was a beautiful thing to see. But again, I was just amazed at the fact that at midnight we can get OmniRide involved in buses and operators get up out of their bed, want to be a part of this, and go rescue, if you will, 60-something people to take them to a high school, get them out of the cold, so we could then figure out how to get them situated because of what was happening in their community. So I know our police and fire do that stuff all the time. We train together, but I know that we have never involved a bus system to be a part of that. And it was just the most amazing thing I ever heard and ever seen. And that's why I wanted to really make sure we pull those operators and you all, OmniRide, Keolis, them in to recognize and see that visibility of how that works, man. That was just an amazing thing to see. So I say thank you again. But I was down and out, so I apologize I couldn't be there. But it was even better to watch from the screen, that room full of all those folks going through that. Yes.
Yeah, but just wanted to piggyback off of that. I got a chance to present in lieu of the chairman, but since it was my district this happened, and I got a lot of good feedback from folks about that piece, because again, they had never seen anything like that. Everyone's used to the cops and the firefighters showing up, but to have folks, and it reminded everyone that I had talked to that a lot of the bus operators are people that live in our community, right? These aren't folks that live in far-flung places. They are neighbors. They are people that live a couple of doors down, a couple of neighborhoods away. Seeing that sort of community come together and be able to get those folks out of the cold on a pretty cold night, when gas leaks aren't an easy thing. I mean, it takes a long time for fires to go through and see each and every building, things like that. So to have only a single digit number of folks that even had to go to the hospital, let alone no deaths, no other concerns, is a testament to how quickly your folks reacted that and got people out of what could have been a very dicey situation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I sort of say Dr. Vic. Dr. Vic, no, thank you, for that wonderful idea of doing that. But I just want to congratulate you as well. You have been a collaborator. You've only been here, what, a month and a year and a half? How long has it been? 25 years now. But you've been a great collaborator with Dr. Bob, always, and that's what community is. And so hats off to you and your leadership too for just protecting and taking care of our community, because that's why we're here.
It was very cool, just want to say that.
Well, we thank you guys too, and the support, and just really encouraging for them to see, it may not be first responders, but they are essential. So I appreciate that, thank you.
Just remember, I can drive on those buses.
No, no, no.
Nah, we got it. Thank you.
Don't let Victor bus.
Chair.
Great.
We're ready. And of course, I do want to mention the industry article. I think that was, yep, that's in your packet as
Yep.
well.
And so we do have two action items.
Presentations and information. We wanted to keep the generals.
Who's doing that?
Lauren
You got-
Gilbert as well as
Yeah,
that.
okay, okay.
So I'd like to reintroduce Lauren Gilbert. She is joining us on Zoom. Are we putting her on screen, Chris, do you know, or? So she is just on audio, I believe.
Hello, are you there?
Hello, I'm here.
Okay.
So she will give us an update on just where we are in terms of the General Assembly session. I've asked her to kind of just go give a lay of the land of what's occurring in Richmond. Obviously, we have an administration turnover, and then she can speak to some of those issues, and I can do a little bit of other infill as we move forward. Lauren, please, the floor is yours.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Schneider. Thank you, Chair Angry. Hello, everyone. Since we have Supervisor Evans joining, I just want to briefly reintroduce myself. My name is Lauren Gilbert. I am Director of Government Relations with Advantage Strategies, and I have the real pleasure of representing PRTC and OmniRide in the General Assembly and in Richmond during session and even in the interim and outside of session. This will be my third session with Advantage Strategies. Previous to joining Advantage, I worked at an organization called the Sorensen Institute for 12 years. They're based out of the University of Virginia. When I left, I was associate director there, but lots of great ties to Virginia. Know lots of wonderful people who are public servants at all levels of Virginia, and it's been a real pleasure to be with Advantage these last few years. We are gearing up for session here in Richmond. Although the General Assembly doesn't gavel in until noon on Wednesday, January 14th. Things are still very busy here in Richmond. I think everyone's taking advantage of the extra calendar days to get meetings in and have some fundraisers and get to meet new people, see new faces before everything gets even crazier. As Dr. Schneider mentioned, this year is going to be very interesting because we'll have a lot of new faces. As you all know, we'll have a new governor, an entire new statewide slate. And of course, that means new cabinet members, new appointees, new faces at every level of governance. So a big drive this year is going to really be education and making sure that all the people who we want to know us are familiar with OmniRide, PRTC, and our unique needs and the service that we provide in Virginia. So chief among those folks we're going to be working with and getting to know are the Secretary Designee of Transportation, Nick Donahue. That name will probably be familiar to many people in the room. I think I see some heads nodding because Mr. Donahue previously served in the Northam administration as Assistant Secretary and then Deputy Secretary of Transportation. He's been in the private sector for a short time and is rejoining us in the public sector, but we know that he has a great background and understanding of transit, and so we're really looking forward to working with him again in his new capacity. Another new face that's going to be really critical for us to develop a great relationship with, and I have no doubts we'll be able to do that, is the head of DRPT, Maria Zimmerman. Ms. Zimmerman has worked at the federal level and also in the private sector for many, many years. She has an extensive resume, and we're very eager to work with her as well. She is going to have a lot of influence in all things that relate to us, and we want to make sure that OmniRide and PRTC are really at the forefront of her mind. We'll also have a number of new legislators. As you all know, there were a great many freshmen members of the House of Delegates that are going to be incoming, many of whom actually serve in the PRTC service footprint. So we want to make sure that they know OmniRide, that they know PRTC, as they have questions about transit, or if they hear things, oh my gosh, a bus is late in my district, we want to make sure that they know they can come to us. and get those questions and those comments directed to Dr. Schneider. Dr. Schneider is a great resource for legislators and always has been. So really looking forward to getting him in front of some of those new faces, making sure we develop great relationships there. There is a little bit of shuffling that's going to happen this year. We are eagerly awaiting things like committee assignments, both in the House and in the Senate. Although the Senate did not have an election in November, there are a number of changes because Senator Hashmi has been elected to lieutenant governor. So she'll be vacating her seat. There's been a special election. There's been a special election for that vacated seat. It's all just kind of a game of like musical chairs in Virginia sometimes when it comes to all the special elections. But that is going to trigger some changes just in leadership and seniority. We also have had some key members who have been really great advocates and voices for transit picked specifically by Governor-elect Spanberger to serve in her administration. So they will be vacating the legislature at different times. Delegate Mark Sickles is going to be joining the administration, as will Senator Adam Eben. Senator Eben's resignation is effective at our anticipated crossover date. So he'll be with us the first half of the General Assembly. Both Delegate Sickles and Senator Evans served on the SJ28 work group that has been working over the last 2 years to tackle transit funding in Virginia. And they were both going to be patrons for the legislation relating to the recommendations that resulted from that work group. We are working very closely with NVTC and our friends over there to see what is anticipated will happen with that legislation and who the new patrons will be. So we'll have an update on that. But again, we're having very close conversations. I think the Senator Eben news is maybe 36 hours old at this point. So it's not shocking we don't have an answer yet. But we'll be eagerly awaiting so we can work with those patrons and make sure that that legislation stays in a form that that is really beneficial to PRTC and OmniRide, and that nothing, strange or potentially harmful for our group could be slipped in there. There are pieces of legislation that are being filed. Right now, there's a little over 400 bills that have been posted to the LIS website, which is public for anyone. If you want a little light reading before bed, I can't recommend more diving into some bill language. But so we've seen about like 50 bills posted a day for the last maybe week. We know that DLS, from what we've been hearing, is kind of swamped. They have a lot of bill requests, a lot of things they're working on. So we are eagerly anticipating the day when we all wake up to 2,000 new bills that we have to sort through and read every word of. But so things are moving a little bit slower in that regard, but I can't really say that that's abnormal given the number of freshmen we have and just what we're anticipating. This is also going to be a budget year. So we'll be paying very close attention to the budget. Many of you know that the budget, of course, has everything to do with how money is spent in Virginia. However, you have to comb through really every word of the budget because you can also slip in legislation in language only. And you can get some really tricky legislative things that try to get through in the budget and are just trying to wait and see who's not looking. So we'll be working very closely and following the money committees and their expectations. I know we've discussed this, but once again, the word that we are getting is that there is just simply not a lot of extra funding available from the state. Really, we're hearing until maybe 2030 is sort of the expectation with this economic slowdown. So lots of folks are just tempering their expectations, making sure that any legislation that we go through has a minimal fiscal impact, but that is going to really drive a lot of the conversation around the budget. Governor-elect Spanberger has made a lot of statements. She's released kind of an affordability program with lots of different policy priorities that she has shared with folks that are really meant to help address some of the affordability and cost of living challenges that Virginians are facing. Once again, we're really expecting like dollars and cents are going to be a huge theme in the General Assembly this upcoming year. So I'll just share some key dates before I turn it back over to you, Dr. Schneider. January 14th is the day that everyone gavels in. That'll be the first day of session. Any budget amendments are due January 16th. We'll also be reading all the budget amendments to make sure that we can help support ones that could help PRTC, or we're voicing our concerns about any that are causing concern. The new governor is going to be inaugurated on January 17th, and there will be a ton of events in Richmond that whole weekend, ushering in, a new statewide administration. On January 19th, there's going to be a joint address to the chambers. The first year of a governor's term, they don't do a State of the Commonwealth address, which is Virginia's, State of the Union, essentially, because the governor has not been serving long enough to give a State of the Commonwealth. However, customarily, they're invited to address a joint meeting of both chambers of the House and the Senate. So that is going to take place on January 19th at 4:00 for anyone who care to tune in. We're expecting the crossover date to be February 18th. So that'll be the day that all bills have to have action by either chamber, by the chamber that they've originated in, or they die. So there'll be a flurry of activity for everyone in kind of mid-February. And then one other important date, the transit day in the General Assembly, Transit Advocacy Day, is Monday, January 26th. So Dr. Schneider will be in town in Richmond. There's a big transit event at Main Street Station in Richmond that evening. So if anyone is in town, I know we'll have lots of our PRTC folks and OmniRide folks in full force, really representing the needs of transit in our neighborhood, in our backyard, and making sure we're getting meetings and are really present there. I also just want to mention that we're very lucky that our legislators that are in the PRTC OmniRide service footprint are just such great champions of transit. It's really wonderful to be able to work for a group that, every time we go to talk to one of our members, the question is like, what do you need? How can we help? So I just want to commend everyone, especially the members in the General Assembly who are getting ready for quite the gauntlet this year, and thank them for their service and just their ongoing support and willingness to have a conversation, open-mindedness as we approach session. So that's it for me. Happy to take questions. Dr. Schneider, Chair Angry, I'll turn it back over to you.
The only thing that I will just remind the commission is, of those could be up to 2,000 bills. They often start from the vague and work down to the general with the legislation. So one of the things we look for is the unintended consequences, and work with those members to just make sure it doesn't create new financial burden, regulatory hurdles, et cetera. Ms. Pandak is always a wonderful resource to help us kind of guide through what are the legal interpretations of this. Does this affect us? Does this not? There's an open level of channel of communication between Ms. Pandak and Ms. Gilbert that really allows us to work very closely, very quickly, and get those things addressed. One of the questions, for example, that they've been able to guide is, as legislation unfolds and is formed, so currently, like the motor fuels tax, it operates like a trust fund. Well, and MVTC has raised the question of, okay, do we treat it as a trust fund, or do funds come to the organization? How does that structure? What's very different is for MVTC, they don't deliver any services. They act as a clearinghouse to redistribute funds. We, on the other hand, are very different, and then we do directly operate those funds. So one of the things we've really pushed for is to have language that says, funding comes to us, but then it is distributed or allocated by strategic plan or by approved budget. So what we're able to do is, rather than have 6 different jurisdictions passing 6 different resolutions every single time, what we're able to do is then bring that to this commission and this body to then use the strategic planning process, the budgeting process, the public process. Saves a lot of bureaucracy. And instead of trying to get 6 different organizations to lean the same way at 6 different board of supervisors or city council meetings, that can occur here. So it places the power in the hands of the commission and the individual commissioners in this room, as opposed to dispersing that. So one of the things that we talk about frequently is local control, et cetera. So rather than have this be something that's a functionality of the state, we're able to bring it local, and then have this group be the body that actually distributes those funds. And again, you have the regulatory and the statutory power to distribute those funds through budget, as well as planning documents that you approve. So that's something that we've worked very closely on, had extensive discussions on how do we make it very effective for the localities so they can retain that power, but also how can we address things on a regional level so that we're able to spend those dollars in the appropriate way, depending on where those funds are raised. So it comes back to the commissioners to make those decisions. So that's an example of how, we're working very closely as a group to move quickly. And as things emerge, we will reach out, let you know if we need some support, assistance. Again, as mentioned, we have new faces in the legislature, so I'll be meeting some of those new faces, and there's lots of familiar faces. I Delegate Thomas. So it's going down and reminding them where we are, but also that it's easy to ask questions, and I'll be continuously traveling down where necessary for the Transportation Subcommittee, House, Senate. This also has impacts and appropriations. So it's meeting with Appropriations Committee, on having those conversations, being active and available. And of course, there will come a time where we'll call on our delegations and our localities to flex their appropriate muscles with the delegation to support this opportunity. So we're excited about the potential for funding. But it very much is a to be determined with so many unknown variables inside of our dome at the State House. So with that, Mr. Chair.
Great.
State, yes.
No, I just, I really appreciate the discussion and the description of how you're trying to streamline things to move faster. And that goes into your wheelhouse. But I would also encourage you, if you would please, to embrace our new CEO for VRE. As you're going through that process, it will be, she's got a slight, she's a quick study, but she's got a learning curve as well. And so making sure that she is embraced and introduced to the illustrious delegation as we move forward in making these decisions as you streamline would be very helpful to the entire process. So thank you in advance. Yeah.
Especially coming from our incoming chair of the.
Oh, well, now. There you go.
Any other comments? Okay, so we do have 2 action items.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And we're gonna bundle those together, so I'll just give a subject line. Authorize the executive director to exercise the option to extend and to amend the contract with Keolis Transit Service LLC to provide fixed route bus, paratransit, and microtransit operations and maintenance services. That's 11.1, 11.2. Authorize the executive director to award a contract to ACOM for engineering services in the amount of $137,489. Let me say that right, sir. Okay. Okay, those are our 2 proposals. So kind of get a motion.
Second.
Got a motion, Commissioner Bodie. Second, I heard him. Oh, let's give it to. There we go. Commissioner O'Connor. There he is. We got the second. Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, we got 1 abstention. The ayes have it. Thank you, ma'am. Just moving into chairman's time. I'm gonna turn my floor over to Vice Chair Holmes, who had the awesome job and wants to do chairing again. Okay, so we're gonna go through some nominations.
Let me small. So I naively offered to chair the nominating committee. Lesson learned. Lesson learned. So though you'll see a lot of changes, it sounds like in the General Assembly here, things will by and large stay the same. The nominating, after discussing this with each jurisdiction, the recommendations for officers are Chair Victor Angry from Prince William County, Vice Chair Shannon Holmes from City of Fredericksburg, Secretary Ralph Smith from City of Manassas, Treasurer Deborah Frazier from Spotsylvania County. We have our immediate past chair for now, Margaret Franklin, Prince William County, at-large member Daryl Moore from City of Manassas Park, and an at-large member Dr. Pam Young from Stafford. So this is our slate of officers.
Well, that is our slate of officers, but I will now open for motions from the floor. If anyone have any motions. Okay. Okay, we got a motion to close nominations, Commissioner Gordy.
I like it's all the time for discussion.
Now.
Okay, so here, any discussions on that? Ma'am.
I heard a motion from Gordy.
Gordy and second Commissioner Frazier.
Frazier, thank you.
And a hum from Delegate Thomas.
Okay.
He's got me go home.
Any
Just gotta be
discussions?
guessed.
Any discussions of that? Okay, no discussions? All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Ayes have it. Okay. So with that slate, where do I go from here?
Ms. Pandak, I think will address
I
I think
think
12.2 at your request.
Yeah.
there, it is. Yes, ma'am.
12.2, is a bit problematic because some jurisdictions haven't actually, made their recommendations yet. And yet there's an upcoming VRE meeting. And so, I am pleased to say that this commission anticipated that, there might be situations where they couldn't act timely, and under the bylaws, it's the executive committee can vote to make those appointments, and then they can be ratified at the next meeting, which would be in February. And so, that is what I understand the chair will propose. The executive committee will meet, it will make, the appointments timely so that those members can sit at the VRE meeting, and then we will ratify in February.
And, ma'am, is that good for discussion or do I need a motion on that, sir?
You don't need a motion, you're welcome to take a motion if you want.
I
The
just wanna.
executive committee has that authority, in fact,
Okay.
if I never told you all about this, it could happen.
Okay.
And then you would still be compelled to have it ratified. by the
I just wanna make
next
sure
meeting,
that the
so.
body is good with that. I mean, so because honestly, we do this every year. This is kind of, we go through this, we've gone through it a few times, but, and then it all works out in February, we get everybody in place where it needs to be, so this is just that process to kind of delay it, and without it holding up, the executive committee will come in and bring all that together, then we'll get it back to the board in February, and then we'll move on and live happily ever after for another year.
Before you tell them everybody's living happily ever after, those jurisdictions that have not made their recommendations for appointment need to do it post haste, so the executive committee has something to work with.
And great question, because Commissioner Young got a great question. Do we know who they are and have they been notified of this? And I know who they are. And I believe they know who they are. Is that safe to say?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
Oh.
Yeah, send in there.
Well, no problem.
So the dates are listed on the.
Oh, there it is. I didn't see the slide. Okay. It's all up there. There you go.
Oh.
Okay, I didn't know we put, look at this.
So it's a better question on who already did, it looks like we're two.
Okay.
It's just this.
Meeting, the person.
Stafford has already,
And you know, ours is.
Tuesday.
Per vote.
Overachievers.
What the hell?
And the issue became because we have our meeting now and most of our local boards are meeting next week, which I'm pretty sure those decisions will be made, but it's kind of behind us, so we'll take that and then move it into February. We use the executive committee to document all of that, and then we'll get it back to the main body in February at that meeting, and then we'll be good to go, hopefully.
Yeah, Chairman, the only reason why I was asking is I know we made the decision. I wanted to make sure it was up there, that's all.
Yeah.
Was it trying to show anybody else?
Oh, no, and because I did get hurt, I did get the word,
Just
but I did get the word.
curiosity,
Yeah,
no.
yeah, okay,
And just
Yes.
clarification that we're looking at Wednesday, the 14th at 9 AM for an executive committee.
That's
too.
correct. The executive committee will meet virtually, 9 AM,
Yeah.
Wednesday, the 14th.
thank you. Right. Okay. So. But now, that covers everything. Now we're on to Commissioner Center. Sir, can I do that one? You got the end? Okay. I just wanna, start by simply saying this because, so I served a long time in the Army, got up to the highest level, And one of the things I've noticed as being an enlisted guy serving, your officers are over you, and what makes a good officer for any enlisted, whatever branch of service, is when an officer has experience from the enlisted ranks. I'm saying this because we're gonna be losing Supervisor Franklin, Commissioner Franklin here. No, we're not maybe. I know how you feel about that.
We're calling it.
Smoke that into existence.
Yeah, we call it.
And I say that because moving into the delegation, one of the hardest parts about what we all do locally is that, and no disrespect for any delegate or anyone that hasn't gone through a supervisor role, but the fact that.
I'm an officer of the Marine Corps.
You understand what I'm saying, you get it. Because that experience you're taking from here to go to there will definitely serve all of us very well as far as you understanding some of the challenges and scenarios that we go through. So very excited for you in that role in that future. So it's gonna definitely change. We're gonna see some changes on this PRTC commissioners board now. We're gonna also be losing Tanisha, right?
You already did. That's why I'm sitting here.
Wait, so.
Yes.
I'll cover that.
Yeah, okay, because I know you're sitting here, but I know you were here before when she was here still, so. But you, right, so, okay, so then, but it plays a role, but now we have, just want to say the change of, and we have a person in place. I was getting to here, okay, my point is that the commission is changing, and so, again, I will say this again, and maybe you all haven't done this, or you have done this, but every year, your staff here that works for you and your executive director always sets up tours that you can come out and learn about PRTC and then ride a bus and then really get a hands-in deep dive about what PRTC does, other than just coming to the meetings. And I would really again recommend that you take advantage of that. So when you get the call, you get the email, even if you don't, reach out to Dr. Snyder, Christine, someone, and say, hey, can I set something up to just come out and spend some time and understand the operations, day-to-day operations of PRTC. I think you'd be impressed with all that. So I just offer that every year we do this, and I need to do it again myself, but it's just a real good experience.
It's ride the bus, not drive.
Well, it's a cool thing too, but I just offer that you come out and take that to a look at it. And so those are my remarks. Again, happy New Year to everybody. But I'm gonna just go right down and start with you. This is a comment time, so you get to.
Well, thank you, Chairman Angry. Like I said, I happy that I'm on this board. And just want to learn a lot. And, again, I'm a writer as well. So I know I ride the Omni ride. So I look forward to working with everyone.
It's really good. Yes.
Awesome.
Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome. Gonna miss you dearly. So that's all I have. Happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah. Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome to the board. And I'll be a wonderful time. Enjoy the push job. I spent a little time in Stuttgart, so I know all about the Porsche folks over there in Germany, but happy New Year's, everybody, and look forward to another exciting year.
All right. Happy New Year to everyone. It is it's going to be an exciting year. I'm looking forward to working with you, Mr. Chairman of the board, be a part of the commission, but as the chair of VRE, I'm very excited about that. And and thank you, Dr. Bob, for your compliment. I appreciate it. To the new members of the board, let's get on the island. Let's go. And for our illustrious state representatives, we look forward to collaborating with you in a very robust way.
You said harassing, huh?
No, I said collaborating. But we look forward to working with you in the General Assembly. It's going to be a lot of excitement, I think, going forward in the things that we need to do in serving this community and the community on the state level. So thank you, everyone. And be safe out there. Traffic is a little crazy. Yeah. Great. Yeah.
So, Happy New Year, and sorry for my lateness, my tardiness. I came straight from Richmond, And so I was behind also traffic. And so when I called Christine to be online, she was like, oh, this is not late. I was like, okay, so I'll keep going then. And then they got later and later. You know how you look at it just got later and later. It's like, okay, 7:31. I was like, yeah, right. And it just 7:40. I'm like, oh my God, it's gonna be 8 o'clock. But anyway, so thank you very much. I don't know why Supervisor was looking my way. I'm not new. I've been alternate. It's been a while. So I've
Now
been
you're
over
permanent.
here. I know, but
Okay.
I was permanent for a little bit too. So yes, thank you. I wanted to thank everybody that's always here every single week, right? Showing up. It's hard sometimes coming from different locations. So you've been here for several years. So I thank the staff also. And I also wanted to, I wrote something down for Ms. Althea. I said I wanted to thank her for her years of dedication, leadership, and quiet strength. And your commitment and care leaves an everlasting mark here in Prince William and the counties, Manassas, Stafford, everywhere, everyone that you've worked with. And so your contributions, as Dr. Bob Schneider mentioned, is with gratitude. I do wish you much happiness on your next endeavors. And then I also wanted to mention that Supervisor Franklin, that it's done and I don't know what to call you at this point. Are you elected primary delegate, whatever it is, we will just have to drop all of those and you will be delegate Franklin. So we'll make sure of that. All right. Yeah. And I'm at your door knocking staff, ready to go. And so yes, and as I said, Happy New Year, and that's all I have.
Well, the thrill is not gone. The thrill is not. Looking forward to this year. This is actually directed at Christine, bless her heart. It's a way of saying thank you. Our meeting on January 14th is virtual.
Yes.
You'll know what that means.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
This is true.
Yeah, I tried to do it tonight.
Oh. Also, way ahead of the track. He's ahead.
I thought I'd be on time.
Good. Hey, I missed this. If you haven't read up on SJ 28, please become very familiar with that document and just learn all you can. Any question you have, don't call me, call that guy. I mean, really, he's just really been heavily involved in that. But I think that's going to be a heck of a bill that we need to pay very close attention to.
I'll email it out again tomorrow.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Okay.
So Happy New Year. Glad we all made it. Althea, thank you very much for your years of service. And I don't know if you heard it, but I said, as you were doing all of those things, you always look amazing. I've always admired the way you look. And welcome, Supervisor. Yes, you welcome. And welcome to Supervisor Evans, and no welcome to Dr. Young. She's been here forever. And it's, okay, so it's via Zoom, February 5th.
Yes, I'll cover that.
That's correct. Our February 5th meeting.
That's what I was gonna wrap up.
Okay, all right, yeah.
Happy New Year, everyone, and thank you, Thea, for your service to this wonderful organization. And I know that you've had a lot of patience and a lot of just gives them of loving and care, and that's what it takes. And we all can learn some lessons from those who serve and serve well. To all of our new board members, welcome. And you know, I have to say this is my 7th year sitting on this board and traveling from Spotsylvania. I've never seen the traffic as bad as it was tonight. And I've missed very few meetings over the 7 years. And I love this board. I like coming and I like interacting with all of you. So I look forward to this year, and thank you, Christine. Thank you, and thank you, Chair Angry, and to all of you. Have a wonderful, wonderful month. Till we meet again, virtually.
All right, first of all, Happy New Year to everyone and to Althea. We talked a little bit before the holidays, but congratulations. I know you and your husband are kind of looking forward to this next stage. And proud to call you a constituent and a neighbor. And so looking forward to continuing to see you around the community. So thank you for all that you've done. And looking forward to hopefully working with you in some capacity soon. To Keisha, welcome to PRTC. I think you will find it to be very important commission, as you already know. A lot of work goes into this, particularly on the budget side and ridership. And so I think, you know, when writers always serve on the commission, it brings a different lens because you actually know what's going on the ground. So thank you for wanting to serve here. And then look, I appreciate all the sentiments. I am hoping that, you know, things will go as planned and likely they will. But I say that in the sense of thank you to everyone, PRTC staff, OmniRide, Keolis, as well as Dr. Schneider. I don't even know how many years it's been, but it's been a long time. But PRTC is important and it's become more and more important over the years. Even in the wake of COVID, we saw some things that I don't know that we would have seen had COVID not happened. And we also saw some opportunities. So I imagine OmniRide and VRE are going to continue to get stronger and become more important as a regional transit system. And I will promise, you know, if elected, I'm going to work with Josh and McPike to make sure that you guys continue to get the resources you need here. Because I've always said it. You guys remind me that I say it. And I'm there. I'm going to make sure that I actually put my word on it. So thank you all.
You might be sitting right here.
We'll see.
I'll just ditto a lot what's been said. Congratulations and welcome to this side of it. Congratulations and thank you and congratulations. Hope you won't get too bored without us. But as was said before, you know, as you travel around this community, you obviously will see signs of the legacy that you leave that will be here forever. So that's not lost on us. And so I wanted to say that and honor that thank you again for your service to the community. And hopefully we will continue to honor what you've already done and continue to uplift everything that you've worked on, because the communications, everything that Dr. Carter talked about that contribute towards this, we are, if nothing, not a outward facing organization. Without being able to communicate effectively with our ridership, we're right. Being able to have events, all these other things that is really the whole point is centering the people that this community, this organization serves. That's where we are. So I just wanted to say that, say thank you. I'll just ditto a lot what was said around SJ 28. I see it as a real opportunity to really prick this organization and give it the resources it's needed for quite some time. I say it all the time. Folks, I know not the folks in this room, but a lot of folks still continue to not completely understand how much of a regional transit system this is. We serve so many different communities and we are one of the linchpins in the regional transit network. Without us, folks to the south of us can't function. You know, we were talking about ridership. I know Supervisor Gordy, you were talking about people that come into Prince William County. None of those people actually drive into Prince William County to go to the Ripon BRE station to get on a train to then go up. They go to all the different stations. We are also a hub that people from other areas come into and take a bus to the inner jurisdictions. And I've said this before, it's time that we get the resources that are commiserate with that. And I'm really hoping that we can really advocate for that. So I see a lot of opportunity. I see us being able to better accommodate the growth that we have in this county, this community. We're looking forward to working with everyone to make sure that happens and looking forward to Delegate-elect Franklin.
Happy New Year, happy retirement. This was mentioned in the General Assembly update, but we do have a new incoming TRPT director who'll be starting in the next week and a half or so. So I'm sure at some point she'll come down here. I'll still be serving as your alternate, but that's it. Looking forward to continue to work with TRPT. Thank you.
No comment.
To try
Very brief.
Can we recommend a different delegate? No.
No, that's what that meant, lights out.
Couple of brief items of housekeeping. We do, because we are online for February 5th, Christine will send out the reminders, so you don't have to write it down. Yes, sir.
That's Baco Day.
That's why we're doing it remotely.
Okay, but I mean, I know we have like things at night in Richmond, so I. Yeah, it's gonna be challenging.
We understand we're gonna work to try to minimize those events. So hopefully we won't have any, if there's any critical items, we'll talk to the chair and if we can defer the meeting, et cetera, but that's something that we're aware of.
Yeah.
We tried to look at other nights. There's no other good night.
I know, yeah, it's probably-
Let's put it this way, you're very busy. So you're always doing something.
It will be the past.
Christine will resend the SJ 28, a reminder, it is not legislation, it is the resolution that the working group did on what they wanted to study, of what types of revenue streams are possible. We will also send out the invitation for VTA Day. There's an event at Main Street Station that night, it's usually barbecue and good drinks, et cetera. So we'll send that information out, so if you're in the area and want to attend, great. We will also be certain to, just as we do a welcome Ms. Evans for et cetera, we'll also try to schedule time for Supervisor Allen to come back. Usually we get the opportunity to have that one more meeting. Because of how quickly Stafford County acted, we weren't able to usually have our traditional appreciation, so we will invite her back if she has some free time, probably for our March meeting, and we might see. You never know, there might be, so we'll see. No, we don't want to jinx anything, so we'll just not talk about it. Talk about it. So with that, Mr. Chair,
That's it.
Second.
All right, we gotta go to
Just like I.
Sharon, I like it.